Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on our Typhoon again, and we're going to finalize this project and get her back down on the wheels. Like I said before, we got in the last video we got a lot of the components on the bike. We're just got to finish up putting the chain on. I got a new chain for it. And then I got a little surprise. I found some parts on eBay that were a decent deal. Some accessories I thought would be good for the bike. So we're gonna put those on too. Let's get started and we'll put that chain on. We got our new chain here. This is an actual Schwinn. Let me show you the package here. So this is an actual Schwinn chain, half by 1/8 inch basic chain. And of course it's not an it's Schwinn, but it's made by Pacific Cycle. So you can't get, Schwinn doesn't make their own parts anymore. So I've used these before. I think they're pretty good quality. I had tried a chain from Bell that I got done in my local hardware store. Single speed, said single speed chain on it. Should have worked. I got it home and I got it on the bike and it was too short. So I don't know what system they used to measure their chains, but it wasn't right. So this chain, it comes with your chain, and it also comes with a master link. Comes with a master link right there. Oop. Let's not lose the parts. Okay. Let's put this in a little parts tray. There we go. All right. So let's get us zoomed in here. Zoomed in on the chain, on the drivetrain here. Okay. So as I mentioned before, we want to have that wheel. So when we have it, when it's tight on the, where we want it, on the sprockets, we want that in the center, right in the center of the fender. So we'll see what we need here. Put our chain on here. Put our chain on there. Now see, this one's plenty long. We'll actually have to take some links out. Whoa, okay. So, this thing is right in the middle. Okay, so we actually want it forward a little bit. So I'll loosen this up. Get our 5/8 inch. 5/8. No, it's 11/16. So we'll get our 11/16. Get our 11/16 wrenches. We'll loosen this up a little bit. I don't think it's real tight to begin with. So we can move the wheel. we'll move it down so it's kind of at the beginning of the dropout here. Just like that. So it's right in that position there. When we get our chain on there and get it, and we move it back a little bit, the tire will be right in the center. Right in the center of the fender. So let's get a measurement here. That looks like it might be good, that one right there. Okay, so we'll get our link that we want to take out. Which will be this one. And we'll take our tool. Oh, this is a park tool. That's the brand, Park Tool. I didn't have one before, so I'd take it over to the vise and I'd put it in the vise and then use a punch, which you can also punch in a hammer. You can do that also, but it's kind of, I don't know, primitive way of doing it. I got this off of eBay. I got this off of. They've got several different brands on there. Park Tool is kind of a well-known brand. It's a little bit more money, but I think it's going to be a good investment for, when I take apart chains and put it back together. Okay, so we'll put our chain in here. Where we want to take apart our link. So we want to take it apart. So we'll take it apart. This is where the thing was, but we have to go back one more because that's where the workable link will be. If you take it apart right here, this is just the flaps of the link. So you want to take it apart where the roller is. Where the roller is right there. So we'll put it in our tool. This is my first time using this, so I want to roll it back in. It's got to go in there. It's got to go in those little depressions there. And you start working the pin through. Yes, moving the rivet out of there. There we go. And the rivet out of there. There. So it took our section we don't need off. That's what we need right there. We'll put our master link on. Where did I put our master link? Oh, over here in our little parts bin. I apologize for not making a video for a while. I've been busy with work and football's going on right now. So I've been watching football. We had a lot of snow here this last, a couple weeks ago in Wisconsin. We had a big snowstorm. So I was doing snow removal. So I got to get back in the shop and make a video and finish that Typhoon. So here we are today. So we'll put our master link on here. Get our chain up in place here first, huh? Then we'll put the master link on. There we go. There we go. Just like that. And we'll put our cover plate on there. I usually like to use the needle nose pliers. Kind of works good to put the lock on. You get it on the one side there, and then just like that. There we go. There we go. And see, it's a little bit forward in the, a little bit more forward in the, a little bit more forward in the dropout. But the rim looks, or the tire looks pretty good in there, in the pretty centered in the fender. So I think we're gonna go with that. I think we're gonna go with it. All right, let's get our wrenches here. Tighten down our wheel. And get it centered in the frame. That's a little too tight. That's pretty good right there. You don't want the chain really tight, you just have some play in there. There we go. Our chain is fitted. And we want to make sure we tighten down our coaster brake. We'll tighten that down. Tighten down a coaster brake. Just get our needle nose. There we go. All right, so that's tight. It's really coming around. It's really a sense of accomplishment too when you get it all back together and everything works, and you go for your first maiden voyage, you know, take her out on the road. All right. Oh, the surprise. Let's go see what we got. See what's in this box here. So, our eBay box, huh? Please excuse the bench. All right, let's see what's in here. I haven't opened it up for a while. The suspense has been killing me. All right. Packaged pretty good. It's one thing when you order some stuff off of eBay, sometimes you don't know. I've gotten some packages that are almost open and whatever you ordered is almost hanging out of the box. Let's see what we got. This one's not that case. It came pretty good. Okay. I found these on eBay because I wanted to make the bike look like the other one. So kind of a twin. So let's see what we got here. Oh. Nice rear rack. Original Schwinn rear rack. So it's got a little bit of rust on it right here. We'll shine that up. That's the rear one. Something else in here, right? Huh. North side something. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, ooh. Ooh. Here we go. We can get rid of this now. And a nice front rack with the spring-loaded jaw on it. That'll look awesome on there. That's just like the other one. goes on the head of the bike, and then this goes down and attaches where your axles attach. Why don't we get these shined up? And you see on here it says original. You see that there? It says Schwinn right on there. That's so cool. So cool. Take you to the detail department. It's not really a detail department. It's just my sink. All right. So hot water, SOS pad. I've had really good luck with SOS on a lot of the foam. The elbow grease, that's what it's all about. It takes a little time, but came out pretty good. It's already starting to shine up as we speak. So, it takes time to get all the little nooks and crannies. Oh. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want to make it look brand new. Just want to make it look well maintained, and it still have that vintage look. Now, these racks can be pretty expensive. I actually got these at a decent deal, I thought. They were $60 a piece. I've seen the rear rack go for $135. Front one, I think I've seen for like $80. So I did it right on them. One thing about eBay, you gotta shop around and make sure you. There's quite a. I mean, with old bike parts, there's not a lot of choices on there, but some other parts you really gotta shop. Shop around. Get the best deal. I've got a little wire brush, little brass brush. Can't really. The bristles are kind of worn down. But you can get that in the hard to reach spots like the springs here. Some soap on there. Little crevices where the bars meet. Just like that. Rinse her off here and see what we're doing. bad. There's here. But right here we can get really. We won't really see that though, because that'll be toward the bottom of toward the tire. Right there. It's amazing how the chrome from this period it's so. They really made chrome back in the 60s, 50s, 60s. Chrome was durable, boy. And some of these, I mean, these bikes are 50 years old, and some of them haven't been in the best storing conditions and stuff. I mean, I've seen some that are just roached, where you can tell they've been sitting outside for years. Unfortunately, these are pretty good shape. So, all right, let's do a finalized rinse. This is the way I clean up most of my parts. So I was right here, the SOS pads and the little wire brush. There we go. Now we just get our microfiber towel. I use microfiber towels a lot. Clean up parts good. Wipe her all down. Dry off. I'm gonna do the same with the rear rack. I'm not gonna bother you with watch me clean it up. I just showed you how I cleaned up the front one, so the rear one's the same process. We're gonna get these racks on here. I think this bike's gonna look pretty good. All right, I'm back. So got the rear one done here. Just wipe it off with the little microfiber towel. Cleaned up all right. I mean, it's not perfect, like I said, but if you want it perfect, you'd have to get a time machine and go back to when this bike was produced in '67. Then you'd have a perfect one. But of course we can't do that, so. All right. Let those dry off a little bit. I'll put a little coat of clear on them. Time for a little coffee break. Oh, it doesn't fit in the cup holder on the bike rack here. Oh well. Worth a shot. So almost ready to take this thing out of the rack. I think we're going to do that to put the racks on it. It was exciting football. My team is unfortunately out of it. Go Packers. I'm a Packer fan, but they had a heck of a season. Guess now I'm rooting for the Lions. So today's the big playoff game, AFC, NFC playoff games. So we'll see. We'll see if they can pull it out against the 49ers. And then of course it's Kansas City and the Ravens for the other game. So we'll see. That looks pretty good. I think we're ready to take it down out of here. We'll put the racks on it. That buffs up so nice. Microfiber towels are awesome for polishing and fine detailing work. So let's take it down out of here. Go. She's back down on the wheels, huh? All right. Right over here. Get her on the kickstand. There we go. All right, let's put on this front rack. I just think that really looks good with the white walls on there. Like I said, the decals on this bike are all original. Even the chain guard. But as I mentioned before, when you're working and cleaning up the chain guard, you want to be very careful because this decal right here is very sensitive. I've already cleared this, so it's good now. But the other one I had, the other copper tone Typhoon I had, I probably should have done a test spot because I didn't. It was one of the, I think it's the second bike I restored or reconditioned. But the soap I took the decal right off. So this is the original decal on there. I cleaned it very lightly and then cleared it. So that's gonna look nice. We can actually put this on since we have our chain on there. Why don't we do that? Now the chain guard mounts right here. Mounts right here. This little bracket that comes off of the bottom bracket, and then right here. So we'll get our hardware for that. Hardware case, parts case. And there's our chain guard hardware. Just grab a screwdriver. Put this down in place here. Put our little screw in the back. And get that started. And then we'll put our other bolt and nut in a little, here we go, like a little star washer. And get that on there. There's a little bit of adjustability on the back. I mean, it goes front and back a little bit. Put the screw in from this side here. Have to make sure the sprocket is lined up so you can move it, get it through the. There we go. And we can get it through there. Just like that. And put our nut on. Just like that. And put our wrench in there. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And just snug her down. Doesn't have to be super tight. There we go. And we'll tighten our other screw. There we go. That's back on. You just want to make sure you don't have any grinding. Doesn't appear to be. There, our chain guard's back on. That looks pretty nice. Looks real nice. Now the pedals on this bike were really in good shape. So I just cleaned them up. I let them sit in evapor rust for a couple days. And I'm gonna be getting some bolt style pedals. The same as I have on the other side. They're repops, but I like the way the bolt pedals look. But these are really nice shape. I'm gonna keep these. And I'm gonna install them for right now. But of course, I think it was late 60s they started with the reflectors. I'm not sure the exact year. This is a 67, and these are the original pedals, and it does not have a reflector here. So, if anybody's got the date or the year that they started with the reflectors and the pedals, put it down in the comments. I think it was late 60s, early 70s, or maybe early 70s, they started putting the reflectors in the pedals. But these are really nice shape. These do not come apart. It looks like they do, but yeah, these are riveted here. So, but they cleaned up really good. I'm just gonna put some WD-40 in here. I mean, they roll pretty good right now. And we'll put these on. The original pedals. Get them all cleaned up here. This bike wasn't ridden that much because, as you can see by the treads, I mean, they had a little bit of wear, but there's not a whole lot of miles on this bike. They're in pretty good shape. See the original Schwinn marking there in the middle. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna use these. Okay. Put a little WD. Oh, over here. Little WD-40. Just a hint. Ooh, almost out. It's been pretty good. Reminder, go to the store, you have to get WD-40. There we go. Okay, so these pedals are marked. Funny, these pedals are actually made in Germany. You can see that right there. Made in Germany. But there's a pedal, there's a marking right there. So this would be the left pedal. And that one you can see the R right there. That'd be the right pedal. You don't want to mix them up. Your 9/16 wrench. There we go. All right. And you don't want to cross thread them. This one's going to be the one that's opposite. So it's going to be righty tighty. No, it's going to be lefty tighty, righty loosey for the left pedal. If it had regular threads on there, when you'd be riding, it would just work its way out. And then you lose a pedal on that side. I'll get that tight. There we go. Nice. Nice. Okay. That really rolls good. Okay, and then this side. This side will be regular threads, the good old golden rule, righty tighty, lefty loosey on the right side. So let's get that started, and it's clockwise to tighten. So when you're on either side, so like this side is, like I mentioned before, it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. But when you're, just remember, when you're taking them apart, that when you're loosening them, it'll go, the wrench will go to the back of the bike for either side. Get her tight, here we go. Nice. Well, technically the bike is back together. We've got our chain on there, chain guard, pedals. Now let's just add our accessories on there and we'll be done. Unfortunately, to put that front rack on, we're gonna have to take our handlebars off because the mounting portion of the rack goes right underneath the nut here. So we're gonna have to take our handlebars off again. 1/2. That'll be 1/2. It should come apart really good because we just put it together. So, all right. There we go. There we go. Now we'll take our nut off of there. Big channel locks. There we go. We'll get a rack here. Let's get our all nice and shined up. And this is gonna go right in here. And then down on the, so mount right there. And then the other mounts will go down and mount to the axle. So we'll put our nut back on here. Just like that. And then we can tighten up this bolt after we get the other mounting points set. So let's get our 9/16 in. Sixteenths. And tighten it all the way. That's good. All right. So we'll put this on. We'll take the nuts off here and then the little washers, and we'll put the rack on. Like that. Then we'll put our washer back on. And our nut on each side. They're pretty easy to put on. I mean, it's not real involved. Okay, we'll get our tire centered here. Then we'll tighten our nuts, wheel nuts. Just like that. You might have to so it mounts, or so it lines up with the center of the fender. Kind of get that mounted on there. Then we'll tighten up our head nut here. There, no. Tighten up our fork nut. And then we'll tighten this up. I believe believe that's also a 9/16. Nope, it's 1/2. And that just tightens up the posts here that go into the bracket. There we go. That's nice. That adds a lot to it, a lot to the bike. Now we can put our handlebars back on. Make sure they're straight. There we go. That looks good. I like that. Just like on my other one. There's the other one. I don't know if I'm going to be putting a tank on this bike. That's a repop tank that I put on there. It's a little pricey, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. I just wanted one of them to kind of make a custom touch to it. Again, I don't have any, there's the horn button right here. I don't have any batteries in it yet, but I just got to get my sticker on there. And I think that looks really good. But otherwise, the bikes are going to be twins. So that looks nice. So we'll put the rear rack on here now. Let's get the rear rack on. Okay, so this is going to go on the seat post clamp. Seat post clamp, and then where the fenders mount. Right like that. So we've got to we need our 7/16 and a screwdriver. We'll loosen these up. Hopefully, I don't know if we're not going to have enough threads there to put these on. Hopefully we do. Then we'll get our 9/16 for our seat post bolt. So that's going to mount on there. Okay, so we'll get this on there first. This comes off. The rack goes across there. In there. And you put your bolt back in. Should be good. We'll get our big channel locks. Squeeze this together a little bit. There's not a whole lot of threads. Coming out of there. There we go. So we'll just tighten that up. But first we've got to get our arms mounted here for the bottom of the rack. Bolt's not going to be long enough for the rack and the fender mounts. So what we'll need to do is find some longer bolts. So yeah, we're going to have to go with, so this of course won't be original hardware, but just have to go with a longer bolt. To use to mount the rack. So that's one more part that won't be original, but I'd rather have the rack on there. So, whoa. Okay. Got you set there. Let's down here a little bit. Closer to the action. There. All right. So we'll put our bolt on here, we'll put our rack in there, get that lined up. It might be kind of tricky to get them all lined up because you get 3 different brackets there. There we go. There. We'll put our new bolt in there. Put that in. There we go. Let's get our washer on there, then our nut. Washer and nut on the other side. A little bit trickier because the, whoa, there she goes. At least we didn't lose this one. And it's a little bit more difficult on this side because the chain is right there. We'll get her though, we'll get her. I don't lose it first. Kind of hard to fit my big paws in there. Okay. Now I'm dropping the nut. So we'll get this, hopefully get this nut started. There we go. There. So I'm sure this will be a 7/16, and we'll tighten these up. this side up. There we go, our rear rack is on there. Might have to tweak it a little bit, get it in the middle. And we'll tighten up our seat post. There we go. That's nice. So she's all back together. We'll make sure we do a once over to make sure everything's tight. But I think she turned out really nice. It's nice when you get it all back together and you know, put some sweat and tears into it. I haven't put much tears in this. I hit my knuckle once, had a knuckle buster, but there was a little tears with that. You get it all together, you get her all polished up and back together and everything lubed and everything detailed. It sure is worth it. So there she is. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. It helps the channel out. It doesn't cost anything. Our next project is going to be the Schwinn Twin. So that's going to be the next series of videos. We'll be taking that bike apart and cleaning her up. See what we're getting into. It shouldn't be that hard at all. Like I said, that bike's gonna clean up really nice. Original paint, all original parts, and we're gonna keep it all original on this, except for the tires. The tires will be the only, and we'll probably need new brake pads because those are probably in need of replacement. But otherwise, the tires and the brake pad is for the front tire will be the only parts not original on that bike. So very excited to get going on that. That will be the next series of videos. So again, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.